Good morning, everybody. We're going to go ahead and call to order the meeting of the License Variance Board. Today is Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021. Agenda today are both scheduled to be tabled. Item 2A is variance request V21-053, and this item is requested to be tabled to the October 13th, 2021 License Variance Board meeting minutes by the applicant. Do I hear a motion to table 2A?
Motion to table variance request V21-053, increase the maximum impervious area from 35% to 50% for a swimming pool, land lot 561 at 1355 Marston Street.
Second.
A motion to table 2A that's been properly seconded. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. That motion passes unanimously. Next item is 2B, same thing, variance request V21-069. This item is to be tabled to the October 13th, 2021 License Variance Board meeting minutes, or meeting as well. Do I hear a motion to table 2A?
Make a motion to table 2B, variance request V21-069, reduce side setback from 10 feet to 5 feet, lot 415 at 863 Church Street.
Second.
Motion to table 2B with a second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for a vote. Okay, motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is 2C, which is privileged license agent change request, LIC 2021-08, beer and wine retail package at 2530 Cumberland Boulevard, Sprouts Markets, LLC, DBA Sprouts Farmers Market, number 530, with Billy Jones as the agent. Hey, good morning. I look up and I don't even have to call you. Thank you. So if you could, for the record, state your name.
Yeah, Billy Jones.
Okay.
And I'm Mindy Thompson with Sard and Leff Attorneys, attorney for Sprouts.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
So a couple of weeks ago, we heard one or two variance requests, I think, for this new Sprout. So I think everybody's excited that you guys are going to be down there, looking forward to it. So just a couple of quick questions for you, Mr. Jones, or for your legal representative. Could you just kind of describe your role with Sprouts at this particular location?
So I'm the district director. I oversee all stores in Western Georgia and Alabama.
Okay.
So essentially, I'm the store manager of store managers. So
Okay.
in there fairly often.
Okay. So do you have this same type of registered agent status with other stores within Sprouts?
He did. So he's gone on various licenses. He was actually on the agent for the other Sprouts location in the city of Smyrna.
Okay.
But as other store managers have come in, he's cycled off of them. But he'll be on it for this one.
Okay. So it's something that you've done before?
Correct.
Okay. So could you just kind of describe for the board whether it's just a company best practice or actual policies in place? How does Sprouts ensure the responsible sale of alcohol?
Oh, there's a few things. We obviously have training programs right off the bat. We have both a virtual training program and paper training program, in addition to face-to-face training with the team. And we participate in the BARS program. So essentially, every person who can sell alcohol is required to both ask if the purchaser is 21. They have to card under 40. I think the BARS program requires 30, but we just upped that by 10 years just to try to be better safe than sorry. And then if there was incompliance to that, or somebody wasn't compliant with that, they know right off the bat they would get disciplinary action.
Okay. Is there any requirement at point of sale for the physical entry of a date of birth?
Correct, yes. every single time an alcoholic beverage scans through the register, it'll be prompted to require a date of birth.
Okay.
And then obviously that'll flag if it's less than 21 years of age.
Okay. You guys have anything for the applicant?
No, sir.
Do you have any additional information to add? All right. For the record, the Smyrna Police Department did do the required comprehensive background investigation for this applicant, Mr. Jones, and found nothing in that investigation that would preclude the issuance of this license. Also, we have on record the required training certificate that, that's required here in Georgia. So, having said that, if there's no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion for item 2C. After we hear Richard's phone.
Pardon me.
Motion for 2C, please.
Motion to approve privilege license agent change request LIC 2021-08 beer and wine retail package at 2530 Cumberland Boulevard Southeast. Sprouts Markets, LLC DBA Sprouts Farmers Market, number 530, with Billy Jones as agent.
Second.
A motion to approve 2C with a proper second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. Thank you. Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations. Good luck.
Great,
Thank you very much.
All right. When is the store scheduled to open? Do you know?
December 1st is the opening date.
December 1st.
Yeah, but it's about 8 minutes from here. I just drove from there to here, so very excited. It's coming along great.
Okay.
Look forward to seeing you guys there.
All righty. Take care.
Thank you.
All righty. Bye-bye. Next item on the agenda is item 2D. It's a public hearing variance request V21-099 to allow the reduction of a rear setback from 30 to 15 feet, 1.02 acres, land lot 412, 3414 South Cobb Drive, SW Smyrna PS LLC is the applicant. Is the applicant present? Good morning. If you could please step forward. And if you could, just state your name for the record.
Yes. Hi, good morning. My name is Kit Creighton. I'm with SW Smyrna PS LLC.
Okay. So the proposed construction that you guys are doing out there this morning has spawned two variance requests, this one that I just called and also the next one. So typically what we'll do is we'll have some background from staff that covers both, and then I'll ask you if you've got any additional information to add. Okay, so Mr. Joey Stobbs for the background, please.
Good morning, Joey Stobbs, Planner 2 with Community Development. The subject property is 3414 South Cobb Drive. They're requesting two variances to allow a rear setback reduction from 30 feet to 15 feet and a parking reduction from 59 spaces to 45 spaces. It's an unusually shaped property in the shape of an L, about an acre in area. It used to be a fast food restaurant. They're proposing to build a pop shelf store. It's about 11,000 square feet. And basically, due to the configuration of the lot and, meeting the front setback, they're requesting a rear setback reduction. And also the parking reduction, just to make everything fit and flow appropriately for vehicular traffic and emergency response. So we are recommending approval with 5 conditions. One, that is conditioned upon the development of the property in substantial compliance with the site plan submitted. 2, they will submit a consolidation plat prior to issuance of a land disturbance to consolidate those 2 parcels into one. 3, that the dumpster will be enclosed by a 3-sided masonry enclosure. 4, they will get GDOT approval for the driveway and deceleration lane improvements on South Cobb Drive. And 5, that they will submit a hydrology study prior to issuance of land disturbance.
Okay. Any questions for staff? Okay. So that's kind of the 60,000-foot summation. Do you have anything else to add to what you just heard?
Yes, I've been working hand in hand with Joey, so thank you for that. I just wanted to clarify a few things or echo a few items on that. We the company I work for, SW Smyrna PS LLC, is a developer for Pop Shelf in Georgia. There are 2 other locations in Cobb County, over in Austell and Powder Springs. Those are inline stores that were existing shopping centers. This will be a ground-up construction, which is it'll look a little bit different from what the current stores are. We intend to include brick with windows and hardy board as well to enhance the architecture. It was suggested to look across the street to the O'Reilly and mirror, the architecture that they were required to do. We also know that this is along the South Cobb overlay, so we intend to make the building look, strong visual appearance with being in this South Cobb overlay. I also just wanted to include a little bit about Pop Shelf, that offers products that are on trend and seasonal with select houseware, home decor, and party goods, in addition to candy, snacks, toys, games, and electronics. The store also includes an expansive selection of health and beauty products, as well as home cleaning supplies and paper. The hours of the store will be 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., and the Pop Shelf will bring 10 to 15 immediate jobs to the area in the short term. So I'd like to leave the rest of the time for any questions.
Any questions for the applicant? So you heard Mr. Stobbs read into record the 5 conditions. So they are recommending that we approve this with those 5 conditions. Are you familiar with those conditions?
Yes, we have reviewed the conditions and can meet all of those requirements,
Okay,
yes.
so you're good with all 5 of those?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, this is a public hearing. If there's anybody here that'd like to either speak for or against item 2D, I would ask that you'd step forward at this time. Seeing no one, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve variance request V21-099, allow reduction of rear setback from 30 feet to 15 feet, 1.02 acres of land, lot 412, address 3414 South Cobb Drive.
Second.
We have a motion to approve 2D with a second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. That motion passes unanimously. Item 2E is the same subject property. This is a variance request V21-100 to allow parking reduction from 59 to 45 spaces, 1.02 acres, land lot 412, 3414 South Cobb Drive. SW Smyrna PS LLC is the applicant. Mr. Stobbs, any additional information?
No, sir, it's been summarized previously. We'll recommend approval with the same conditions.
Okay. And to the applicant, any additional information?
I'd just like to emphasize we're buying the lot behind the convenience store solely to increase more parking and better traffic flow through the site, as well as we'll be closing one of the entrances on South Cobb to allow for better flow of traffic and increase the parking with that extra 0.25 acres.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant or for staff?
No, sir.
All right. This is a public hearing. If there's anybody here that'd like to speak either for or against item 2E, I would ask that you'd step forward at this time. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve variance request V21-0100. Allow parking reduction from 59 spaces to 45 spaces, 1.02 acres, land lot 412, 3414 South Cobb Drive.
Second.
Motion to approve 2E with a second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Perfect.
Congratulations.
Thank you
Good
very
luck.
much. Thank you.
When do you
Thank
think you guys will be, when is the plan to try to be in full construction?
It would be around the first of the year.
Okay.
It'll take a minute to go through. We'll still have to run due diligence, items and run title and survey as
All
well.
right.
So, thank you.
Good luck. Next item on the agenda is 2F, a public hearing variance request V21-101 to allow the reduction of front setback from 35 to 12.5 feet, 2.65 acres, land lot 334, 570 Disposal Plant Road for Sari Jones. Miss Jones, are you present? hey. So this will be very similar. Your request, your project has spawned two different ones, just like the last one, so we're gonna do the same thing. So, Mr. Stobbs, if you could, please, the background.
The applicant is requesting two variances at 570 Disposal Plant Road for a reduction of the front setback from 35 feet to 12.5 feet and to allow encroachment into the 75-foot impervious surface setback. Subject property is 2.65 acres. However, there is a stream that runs diagonally through the property, leaving only about half acre of the property developable. Therefore, to make anything work, they are requesting to reduce the front setback to push the house up a little bit, and then to encroach a portion of the 75-foot impervious surface setback. We feel those are the minimum variance needed to allow the site to be developable. We recommend approval of the property with 3 conditions. Approval of the subject property shall be conditioned upon the development of the property in substantial compliance with the site plan submitted and the elevation submitted. 2, the 4 guest parking spaces be removed from the site plan. 3, the applicant shall provide water quality for the site, subject to approval by the city engineer.
Any questions for staff? Mr. Stobbs, I know that, isn't there, to offset, should this be approved? Now, this one, what are we hearing first? We're hearing the front
Front setback.
setback, but the next one is the encroachment into the 75-foot impervious surface. Is there a plan to offset that potential impact?
Yes, sir. They're showing it on their site plan, which it's conditioned on. They will compensate for twice as much of the area that they're going to encroach into that buffer. So that'll be on the back of the property, about 20,000 square feet of mitigation.
Okay. Thank you. Hey, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
If you could please state your name for the record.
Oh, Sari Jones.
Sari, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
So you just heard Mr. Stobbs kind of read into record the kind of high-level summation of the 2 reasons why we're here
Right.
today to contemplate these variances. Do you have any additional information that you'd like to add?
Not too much add, but I guess agree. When we purchased the land, didn't realize that the creek would stop us from
Yeah.
being able to build a house. So we were trying our best to make it work. And with the conversation, the meeting with the staff at the in the city of Smyrna, those were some of their recommendations. And so we hopefully met the recommendations that they required, and hoping we can move forward.
Yeah, it's pretty common, and that's why I was asking about the, so long as if any type of construction, disturbs the 75-foot buffer, it's a lot better if you can offset the potential impact somewhere else on the property.
Right.
Typically, single-family residential lots aren't 2.65 acres in Smyrna.
Right.
They're much, much smaller, so having to offset is a lot harder. Fortunately for you, you've got a big lot here, so it looks like it'd be relatively easy to offset that potential impact, which is why I was asking that question.
Okay.
Any questions for the applicant?
No, sir.
I should say that. So, Mr. Stobbs, you read into record those conditions. Let me get back to it here. So the second condition was that the 4 guest parking spaces be removed from the site plan. So, Ms. Jones, are you familiar with the 3 conditions as read into record?
I am familiar with the 3 conditions, and looking at the, okay, I see where he's saying off to the side, which is very, we can accommodate that.
So you can accommodate all three conditions?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. If there's no further questions for the staff or the applicant, this is a public hearing. If there's anybody here that'd like to speak either for or against item 2F, I would ask that you step forward at this time. Sir? Ms. Jones, if you could just kind of have a seat on the
Okay,
front right
sure.
here. Good morning. If you could state your name for the record, please.
My name's Mark Zanelli, and I live on 4245 Nolan, the property that backs up to the property that we're speaking of.
Okay, so your property is immediately adjacent to one of the sides of this property?
That's correct. It's directly behind my house.
Okay, could you spell your last name for the record, please?
Zanelli.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, sir.
So I bought my house essentially a year ago, and when I bought that house, one of the main reasons I bought it was we looked at the property behind it, and there's a natural spring that goes through that property. And when speaking with the owner of it, it was discussed that the property wasn't be able to be ever built on, which is one of the reasons that I purchased the house. And if you go back and actually look at the property, there's a natural spring that goes through it, and it actually feeds the main creek at the bottom. And I just don't see how building a house in that vicinity is not going to directly affect that creek. And with the runoff going down into that creek, I just think will seriously worsen the water quality. Another thing is I believe that the driveway for this property would be on essentially the road going down to the park. And now hearing if there's not going to be parking spaces and cars are going to be parked on the road with delivery trucks going in and out, the only way to go down that road would be to turn around in the lower park where essentially the parking spaces are. There's not really a cul-de-sac for cars to turn around. And that's basically all I have to say.
Okay. Well, so I'm looking at the site plan right now, and there's no plan on the site plan to have any parking spaces on the road per se.
Mm-hmm.
Every potential parking or driveway for this subject property is within the bounds of the property.
Okay.
Okay? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Okay. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for a motion for 2F.
Make a motion to approve variance request V21-0101, allow reduction of front setback from 35 feet to 12.5 feet, 2.65 acres, land lot 334, 570 Disposal Plant Road.
Second.
We have a motion to approve item 2F with a proper second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is item 2G, same subject property. This one's variance request V21-102, allow encroachment into 75-foot impervious surface setback, 2.65 acre land lot 334-570, Disposal Plant Road. Mr. Stobbs, any additional information?
No, sir, we recommend approval with the same conditions.
Ms. Jones, do you have any additional information to add? Okay. This is a public hearing. If there's anybody here that'd like to speak either for or against item 2G, I'd ask that you'd step forward at this time. Sir, do you have any additional public comment to add? Okay, thank you. Any questions for staff or the applicant? Okay, if there's no further discussion, I'll call for the motion for item 2F.
Motion to approve variance request V21-102, allow encroachment into the 75-foot impervious surface setback, 2.65 acres, land lot 334, 570 Disposal Plant Road.
Second.
We have a motion to approve 2G with a proper second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. That motion passes unanimously as well. Last item on the agenda is item 3A, the approval of the September 8, 2021 License Variance Board meeting minutes.
Second.
The motion approved, 3A, with a proper second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. Motion passes unanimously. We'll go ahead and adjourn at 10:26. So after I called you,